We use websites literally every single day. But have you ever actually stopped and wondered, how do they work? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole thing, from the different kinds of sites to how they get online and, yeah, what it all costs.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It feels like a massive question. We use them for everything, but the technology behind it all can feel like a total black box. Our goal today is to crack that box open and show you that the main ideas are actually pretty simple.
And don't worry, we're going to skip all the crazy jargon. We'll use simple, clear language every step of the way. So whether you're dreaming about building your own site one day, or you just want to understand the digital world a little better, you are in exactly the right place. All right, so to kick things off, you really only need to understand that almost every website you've ever visited falls into one of two main buckets. Get this one difference, and trust me, everything else is going to click into place. First up is what we call a static website. The easiest way to think about this is like a digital brochure or a flyer. The information is totally fixed. It doesn't matter who you are or when you visit, you're going to see the exact same page as everybody else. Now, because these sites are so simple, they have some huge advantages. I mean, they are incredibly fast and super cheap to run. But there's a trade-off. If you want to change anything, even just a phone number, someone has to go in and edit the actual code. This makes them perfect for stuff that doesn't change much, like an artist portfolio or a basic info page for a local coffee shop. And then you've got the complete opposite, the dynamic website. This isn't like a brochure at all. It's more like having a conversation. The website can actually change what it shows you based on who you are, what time it is, or what you click on. These dynamic sites are the real powerhouses of the internet. They use a powerful computer, called a server, to do all the thinking, and a kind of digital filing cabinet, called a database, to remember all the information. This is what makes things like your social media feed or your online banking dashboard possible. All that power costs more, for sure, but it opens up a whole world of interactivity. So really, the difference boils down to this. Are you just showing information, or do you need your website to do something? Static is for showing, and dynamic is for doing. It's that simple. Picking the right one just depends on your goal. Okay, so now that we've got that whole static versus dynamic thing down, let's look at a couple of common types of websites you see every single day, which are almost always built on that dynamic foundation. First up, the big one, the e-commerce website. Its entire reason for existing is to sell stuff online. If you want to sell products directly to your customers over the internet, this is exactly what you need. And pretty much every e-commerce site is built around these three core pieces. You've got to have a way to show off your products, right? You need a shopping cart so people can gather up what they want. And maybe most importantly, you need a super secure way for them to pay. It's a dynamic system that's all about one thing, doing business. Next, let's talk about sites built with a CMS. That stands for Content Management System. And honestly, this was a total game changer for millions of people. It's a tool that basically separates your website's content from its design so you can add and edit things super easily. The real magic of a CMS is that it empowers you. You don't need to be a developer or know any code to run your own website. You can just log in and write a blog post or update your hours or add new pictures. The most famous one by a long shot is WordPress, which actually powers a massive chunk of the entire internet. Okay, so we get what a website is, but how does it actually go from being a bunch of files on someone's computer to being on the global internet for everyone to see? The answer to that is something called web hosting. Think of it like this. If your domain name is your website's street address, then hosting is the actual plot of land where your house, your website, is built. You're basically renting space on a really powerful always-on computer, that server we mentioned, which stores all your files and serves them up to anyone who visits your address. And just like real estate, you've got different options. Shared hosting is the cheapest. It's like renting an apartment in a big building. A VPS is a step up, kind of like a townhouse with more space and control. Dedicated is like owning the whole house. All the power is yours, but wow, it gets expensive. And then there's cloud hosting, which is super flexible and lets you scale up or down whenever you need to. So all of this leads to the big, practical question that everyone wants to know. What does it actually cost to have a website? Let's break down the main expenses you should expect. First things first, you need a domain name. This is your site's unique address, like myawesomeblog.com. It's an annual fee you have to pay to keep it, but it's usually pretty affordable. We're talking maybe 10 to 15 bucks a year. Next up is the hosting. And as we just talked about, the costs here can be all over the map. A simple shared plan for a tiny personal site might only cost you a few dollars a month. But a powerful, dedicated server for a huge e-commerce store, that could easily run into hundreds of dollars or more. And finally, there's the one-time development cost. This is the biggest variable of them all. I mean, a simple site using a pre-made template might be really cheap, or even free if you do it yourself. But a custom-built, dynamic website with a ton of special features, that could be a serious investment. It all just depends on what you need it to do. Phew, okay. We have covered a ton of ground, from the basic types of websites to the nitty-gritty of hosting and costs. So let's just do a super quick recap of the most important takeaways. Here it is, your website cheat sheet. Static is your go-to for simple, fast, and low-cost sites. Dynamic is what you need for power and user interaction. E-commerce is the special tool just for selling things. And a CMS is your best friend when you want to manage your own content without ever having to touch a line of code. So if you take away just one single thing from all of this, let it be this. There is no such thing as the best type of website. The only best choice is the one that perfectly matches your specific goal. And that leaves us with just one final question. Now that you have this foundation, you're ready to start thinking about the possibilities. Whether it's a portfolio, a blog, or maybe the next big thing, what will you create? Thanks for joining us.